welcome to my testimony series. Listen, I gave it to y'all just how God told me to give it to y'all. I hope this helps somebody. Do not judge me. Actually, I don't care, because who are y'all to judge? But anyways, I really hope that this can help somebody who may have been struggling how I used to be once upon a time. Enjoy it. And it's pure honesty. And there will be a lot of episodes, so stay tuned. And subscribe to my channel. Thank you. This testimony series has been procrastinated for so long. It's been a long time coming. I just kept pushing it, but it got to a point where God just got so loud. It was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it. And then when I did decide to do it, I felt like I had to be on a certain platform to do it. It was just so many excuses I was making. But it's like, I know I have to share my testimony because I know it'll help so many women, young women that are where I used to be before God saved me. So a lot of people ask me, like, Apple, have you always been happy? And have you always been like, God, into God and stuff like that? And it's like, I've always been a comedian. That's a passion, that's purpose that God put in me. I've always been a comedian. I've always been funny. Have I always been happy? No. The applehead I used to be before God literally pulled me out of that ditch was somebody you wouldn't even want to know. Like, there was so many generational curses and spirits on me. Like, you have no idea what I had to fight off. Well, I had to get to a place where I allowed God to come in and help me fight it off, because you have to be willing to receive God. You know what I'm saying? You could say you want God all you want, but you have to make up in your mind and in your heart that, God, I'm ready to stop these behaviors. I'm ready to stop moving like this because I want new. God is never going, he's not even able to fill your cup with anything new if you still have the old things going on. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're trying to add on. Your cup is too full already. You have to take those things off, and you have to allow him to help you do that, because you can do nothing of yourself. So to just give y'all a little rundown, and I'm not even going to say a little rundown because I plan on getting into detail. You know what I'm saying? I was nasty, man. I was nasty. I was dirty. And I'm talking about my soul. I'm talking about inside. Outer appearance was everything. I did everything to cover it up. I did everything to cover up those nasty behaviors and those nasty spirits and all of those things I was doing behind closed doors. I dressed it up so nice that you would never know. Like, I smell good, look good, but inside I was a nasty soul. And when I say that, I mean, listen, it was just, I seen people that raised me live a certain lifestyle so much to the point where I didn't feel like there was anything wrong with what I was doing. I didn't know I was fighting generational curses, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like I'm saying like I don't appreciate and love my mom. I love my mother. My dad, I love him with the love of God because I have to love everyone, but I don't really know him like that. But I watched my mom. Okay. I watched my mom deal with men after her and my dad got divorced. It was a horrible marriage. My dad used to beat on her for the year that we lived together. My dad used to beat on her and disrespect her and everything. And I think that she allowed that to break her so bad that she didn't know how to go to God. She didn't have, the urge to want to go to God. I think she took matters into her own hands. And she started dealing with these men and stuff like that. And for so long, I watched my mom deal with a married man. And it wasn't, to me, I was too young to even understand anything like that. I didn't find out the guy was married until I was like older. And when I did find out, I really didn't care because he was providing for my mom and for us. And he became like a father figure. So it was like, I didn't know that those things that my mother was doing would later on impact me. You know what I mean? And that's what's called a generational curse. It's passed down to your children. That's why as a parent, you have to be careful how you deal with people, how you deal with situations, because even if it don't hit you, it will hit your kids, and it will hit your kids. Like, it'll just keep trickling on until someone breaks it. So after I had my first child, I had my first child at 17 years old. The father of my child was never there, like non-existent. He was non-existent, okay? And at a very young age, I had to learn how to fend for myself. And I didn't know God. Like, I wasn't raised around religion. You know, I heard my mama talk about Jesus, but I never watched her praise God. I never seen my mama pray. I never seen her do any of these things when I was younger. So it was like, when I had that baby, my mama couldn't help me, not because she didn't want to, but financially she couldn't. She didn't have no career. We came here when my mama was in like her late 30s, so it was like she felt like it was too late for her to pursue anything. So she just settled for less and just decided that she was just gonna deal with a married man to get a living how she figured she would get a living, you know. And I resented her for so long, like later on in life. But back to me. So I started to feel like I had to take matters into my own hand, like my mama did when the father of my child wasn't doing what he had to do. I said, all right, well, I'm just going to use guys. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't never really my intention to, but when I started noticing that I could get what I want out of a man, sometimes I would just talk to them on the phone. I wouldn't even have to see these people. And I was able to get whatever I wanted as far as finances. So I started to really live my life that way. And I dealt with so many guys, like, even if it was just like a food boy or a guy that I had to pay this bill or whatever, I was literally a player. Like, I just played with people. I didn't care to settle down. I wasn't looking for it, you know what I'm saying? I just was trying to live. I was trying to survive. I was doing what I seen my mother do. And for so long I lived like that, and the more people I dealt with, the more confused I became, the more crazy I got, doing crazy things. I was even with women at one point. Like, I've dealt with women drinking and smoking and all of this or whatever. I never was into like heavy weed, but I did it a couple times, and just out there just doing whatever the heck I thought was right. And at some point, I ended up dealing with an older guy. He was in like his 40s, I would say. And mind you, I was like 20, and I started dealing with him, and he was like in his late 40s, but he looked young. When I started dealing with him, I didn't know he was married. He never told me. I never seen a ring. Just literally the same story, like my mother. I started dealing with him, and he was my sugar daddy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because did I want a relationship with him? Hell no. I just wanted what he had. So I dealt with him. And yeah, we got sexually intimate. We sure did. And for a long time, I dealt with that man for years. I'm talking about years. And sometimes I used to feel so disgusted with myself. Because I knew I didn't love him. I knew I didn't want him. I was surviving, you know what I'm saying? And he had what I needed. And mind y'all, in the midst of all of this, I'm calling myself blessed. I'm calling myself blessed. And I'm thanking God. And mind you, I used to go to church. I was going to church every Sunday. I would leave church on Sunday and go be with my sugar daddy after church. And probably like 8 months into dealing with him, I found out he was married. Did I care? No. As a matter of fact, that made me want to deal with him even more, because as a woman, there's like this sense of, oh, I bet I could take it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why women are like that, but sometimes when you're not saved and you don't have God in your life, you don't have positive influences, that's the way you think. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of y'all could relate to it. So I didn't care. I just kept dealing with him. I kept getting what I wanted, everything I needed. Car, apartment, he got me everything. Like, I was living my best life. So I started to get to a point where I got into a relationship with somebody else, and when I got into the relationship with that person, he was broke. And I still have my sugar daddy on the side. So I'm like, I love the broke guy, but I need the sugar daddy. So what do I do? So I dealt with both of them. I stopped seeing my sugar daddy like that because at some point the guy started living with me and things like that. So it was like I was dealing with two different spirits, and I was wondering why I was so unhappy and why I was so miserable all the time, why I had to force myself to be happy and stuff like that. And I promise y'all, listen, I have never been faithful to anybody besides my husband. I don't know if it was the spirits. Like, I cheated on every single guy before my husband. This was Applehead. This was me. And I thought it was cute. I thought I was a player. I ain't had no feelings. You know how sometimes women just be wanting to act like they're men and stuff like that? That was me. I used to call myself like I had feelings like a guy. And I used to think that was so cute, y'all. I used to think that was so cute. Not even knowing I just had all of these spirits on me all the time. I had so many different, I don't even know. I just felt so like I was just in a box and I couldn't escape. And every time I tried to stop dealing with my sugar daddy, it was like a bill came up. Something huge came up where I didn't have the money to pay it. And I would need to call him. And that's what I felt like I had to do. So this is part one of my testimony. Y'all got to keep watching because you got to get the full story and how I was able to shake those spirits off and able to get into God and change my life. I hope y'all don't judge me. I honestly don't care because I'm over it. That was like years ago. That was the younger me. I was reckless. I didn't care about anything. I didn't know God. I didn't have peace. I didn't have real happiness. So yeah, and hurt people, like people always say hurt people, and I was just hurting everybody. Like I really just didn't care. So part 2 is coming out soon. Stay tuned, and I hope y'all can relate. I hope that this helps somebody, and I'm just gonna keep sharing my story and hope that it helps somebody to overcome it like I overcame it.